Wait, that's one. It's another one? Okay. So that would be Pulaski or Cicero or Kids. Do I have kids? Okay. I'll look at the address. Hold on.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're in the right place at the right time. Today is Tuesday, and you're here for another episode of AskDrRon.com. We got a great guest on today. My brother Revin Fellows is in the green room waiting on me to get my introduction out the way, and he gonna be joining us. But before I get started, I always have to give a shout out to my mentor, Dr. Hunt. Dr. Hunt and I have been traveling in life together for 30 plus years. 30 plus years. I've been a blessing to his family. He's been a blessing to my family. And I tell you, it has been nothing but a blessing the whole time. I tell you, I talk about my mentor so much because I want to encourage you to get a mentor, somebody that can be a blessing to you and you can follow and have them in your life to help you through all manner of situations and circumstances. So you definitely want to get a mentor, and you also want to get a show so you can shout your mentor out. Once you shout your mentor out, I tell you, you want the world to know, because it is truly an invaluable blessing to have a mentor in your life. So now I want to invite you guys over to my website, ask-dr-ron.com. When you get over there, the first thing I want you to notice when you get there is that you can watch the broadcast directly from the website. You can click on the link that says watch live, and you'll be able to check out everything that's going on. Secondly, I want you to notice all of the advertisers that I have on the site. I have a list of some of my advertisers right here, so I definitely want you to check them out. The first one that we're going to talk about is RRJ Web. RRJ Web, if you've got a broken website, if you've got something that you would like to do in your mind to create a website, RRJ Web can help you accomplish those things. So you can reach out to RRJ Web and he will help you get your website up and running. And if it's broke, he can fix it. I also want to talk about Search Synergy. Search Synergy can help you understand the benefits and the advantages of having solar panels for your home or your business. Search Synergy has been training people and bringing people throughout the world the benefits of understanding solar power. One of my favorite advertisers, Port Again Sam. Port Again Sam has been bringing in some of the best wines and spirits from all over the world. I tell you, if you have not had a wine tasting with Sam, you've been missing out. I tell you, Port Again Sam has been, oh my God, he has been blessing me for a long time. I tell you, my favorite is the cognac. So you need to click on the banners, any one of these banners, and you'll be able to find out what your new favorite wine is going to be. Also, Prince Hunter Financial Group. If you are interested in trying to learn about the stock market or the Forex market, you definitely want to reach out to the Prince Hunter Financial Group, because they are teaching people how to work the stock market. Now, one thing that he is offering, if you are listening to this show, he's offering 4 free classes to anybody and everybody that is offering interested in learning about the stock market. So definitely you want to reach out to him and get your 4 free classes. All right. So, like I said to you a little while ago, my guest is in the green room. We're getting ready to go to him now. Revin Fellows, this brother has been a friend of mine and been coming on the show for quite a long time. He hasn't been on here in a while. I know why, because I stopped serving food to do the show, so he ain't been on the show in a while. But he is a wealth of information. He is in the community. He's been in Springfield working with legislators. I tell you, if you don't know Revin, you need to know Revin, because Revin knows any and everything that's going out throughout the community. So definitely you want to understand who Revin Fellows is. So without further ado, I'm going to welcome him back to the show. Welcome back, my brother.
Hey, what's up, brothers? Dr. Ron.
Man, look,
your surgical room.
Look, I was just telling him, I know you stopped coming because I stopped serving food, but you came by last week and was able to capitalize off of what I had in my refrigerator at the time. See, I didn't know he was coming, so I had to serve him some of the food that I normally eat, and he was happy. Even took a Go container,
Yeah, that tuna was maxed out. It didn't leave the parking lot.
Didn't leave the parking lot. See, now let me tell you about this brother, y'all. He said, man, I'm full. I can't gonna barely eat all of this. So I gave him a Go container and everything, and he talking about didn't even leave the parking lot. I can believe that. I can believe that.
You're still good hostess to the mostest.
Yeah, thank you, my brother. I appreciate it. I was trying to celebrate his birthday. He just had a birthday at the first of the month, and he had this big affair, and it just happened to be on the day that the city flooded. It rained so hard, water backed up under every viaduct, especially where he was at. I was like, man, I ain't got no boat. I can't get up in there. So I had to call him the next day and say, hey, man, I'm sorry. I would have came, but it stormed and hell flooded, the south side.
Well, Doc, really, I asked for the rain because I wanted to see how many loyal friends I had, and a lot of people need to be washed and cleaned. We got some issues in Chicago. We need to be washed.
Oh,
so
my
God,
God.
do your thing. And those who don't get through, and those who like you, I know you ain't going to go in the viaduct. You ain't going to do that. So I know you guys excuse. The rest of them, I had a good crowd, good turnout. Those who love me, you get a pass because I know you're going to make it through rain, sleet, and snow. But a lot of people, I say, God, do something to cleanse this city. I'm going to make it rain. Make it rain.
I know that's right. But see, I made up for it.
Okay.
See, he was unfortunately in my neighborhood. A mentor of his had passed away, and he was in my neighborhood, and he thought about me. He said, man, where you at? And he came by, and I opened up everything that was available in my refrigerator, and I tell you, he had a good time. I said, you got enough? He said, yeah, man, I'm straight. So that's what's up. So I made up for it.
Real quick. My mentor and friend that passed is rest in peace, and that blue and gold. So Principal Ned McCrae, that was our principal when I was in high school at Simeon, 74 to 78 in that era, he passed and on with the ancestors. So had plans to go and see him put to rest and then come by and visit you. So coming to see you, that food and hospitality is something I needed because I was in a special place. So thanks for being a brother from another mother.
Yeah, man, it's my pleasure. I owed you that. I keep telling you when you're in the neighborhood, you got to stick your head in the door. But now you know where I'm at. You're going to be able to do that on a regular. That's what's up. Yeah, you're welcome anytime.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what's going on, man? It's been a long time. I've been doing this show about 15, almost 20 years now. And you used to join us when we were at the radio station. And since I've been on video, you've only been on here a couple of times, but what's going on, man? You're a wealth of knowledge. You have your ear to the ground. You hear everything that's going on, and you bring back such pertinent information that we need to know about in the city of Chicago. And that's West Side, South Side, everywhere. You Springfield. You ain't even playing when they know your name down there. You bring 2-3 busloads of folks down there with a box lunch, and y'all go down there and mess them up in Springfield. Like, where's all these black people coming from? So he'll fill a church up. He'll fill anything up. If you call Revin, you better be prepared for what's gonna happen next. So what's going on in the world of Revin, man? I'm just glad to talk to you.
Man, as my favorite slang is blacknificent now. We got to raise the bar. No more black excellent. No, that ain't been working for us. No more black this. We want you to be blacknificent. So everybody can take the word. I already got it locked. But everywhere you go, tell people you're blacknificent. We got to raise the bar because the bar of excellence for black people has been lowered. So God gave me something, Brother Baba Quasi, rest in peace, from Simeon in Chicago State. It's called blacknificent. It's a real word. If you Google it, talks about melanin flowing. So it's all about us blacknificent and a flow of melanin that we are as a melanated people. But as you say, what's going on, man? It's just it's interesting, man. I'm trying to figure out where to start. We got a new mayor, and Brother Brandon Johnson, known from organizing, good brother. But we voted for him in terms of we went against the other guy because he was white and we might have other issues. So we voted a brother in that we think could help us move to the next level. And I know what he's been doing a little bit in terms of organizing with the teachers. But he's in a bad situation where most of the people who have put him in, and they kind of control the narrative the way I see it. And he would like to do things, but who put you in is usually how you have to flow. But unfortunately, with the immigration piece, migrant piece, executive order and other things, we got to help support that brother we got to make a lot of noise so he can look our way. And so we don't make no noise and put pressure, because you can only be a good president, good mayor, only if black people put pressure on you. Obama, I don't think, could have been the best of the best because we didn't challenge him. In order for you to be good in America or anywhere, black people got to put that heat on you so you can really elevate your game. And I think we did ourselves a disservice from not asking Obama for what we needed and demanding from him. And so Brandon's kind of in a space where we got to demand and give him ideas. And so and I just don't like people moving in the front of our line. We love everybody. We take care of everybody. But one thing, we shouldn't be in the back of the line when we actually built and put things together for our people. And our children deserve to be at the front of the line because the ancestors, and we paid a lot of dues. Man, there's so much going on politically. Everybody's talking about the rain. And I'm serious. God got to do some washing around here because we got some issues.
So let's stop right there for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
So you talk about going to the front of the line, or the people that are in front of us in line got service and got some things taken care of before we have. And I'm talking about African Americans, black, colored, whatever you go by this week. But they're complaining about what's happening for other people, the migrants that are, being weaponized and sent to this country, into this city,
mm-hmm.
And all over the country where there's democratic leadership. But what are we asking for that could be accomplished at the same time? Now, I know the existing Brandon has given away millions of dollars trying to help the situation. They got people sleeping on, for those that don't live in Chicago, they got people sleeping on the floors in police stations.
Mm-hmm.
And to the point where, some of the police have decided to take sexual favors from some of these people that are sitting in the middle of the floor. So like, well, here, you come on over here, let me help you out with a little something, something, that'll help me out, which I mean, they probably feel like they're entitled to it because, my money paying for you to be in my police station. I might as well get a little something, something out of it because that's the way they think most of the time,
Mm.
that they're entitled to something that they feel like their money is paying for.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think, and you may not have an answer.
I got one.
Oh, you got
Keep
one?
going.
Okay, well, go on with
I'm
it then.
premeditated, but if I'm going the direction you're going, you're asking me what I think that we should be asking for,
At this time,
demanding for it is, yeah.
is a better word. Yes.
And I'm very solution oriented, and I've been training for this yourself and I, with you in media and me in research. Between your media and my research data, we pretty much then looked at solutions. So I know you don't ever ask a question you don't have the answer to, and you don't ever talk about nothing you don't know that can be fixed. But I think the first line of duty, $51 million is not money. It's an insult to us to get in the back of the line and they go in front. So everybody, $51 million, that's not no money. We don't want $51 million. What I know should be to get us started, because I don't want to make this problem too big, because a lot of people black don't want to do no work. Because one of the reasons we run away from responsibility, because once we know the truth, that means we got to get down Grammy, and people are tired of fighting, and they don't really want to show who God really is. Because the only way you prove who God is when you see it's lower than low, and then you elevate. Everybody know couldn't nobody fix it but the Most High. But
That's true.
why not start with the billions of dollars that's been going to Lincoln, up to Lincoln Yard, to $80 million, and all of our TIF money that is leaving the predominantly black community, where you get TIF monies to be able to finance businesses and really not pay it back. You get TIF money to build schools. You get TIF money for construction. You get TIF money for a lot of things. So they've taken our money over the years and signed off on TIF with major products that do not come to our community. And so small business, our black community, cannot get tax breaks, can't get that. So they're trying to pay back money and then elevate. Up north, they're taking our TIF money, getting the developers resources and breaks and tax breaks to come here. And that is the start. There's billions of dollars that we can go to the new mayor and say, brother, we need a task force, a special, just like we got the police oversight, we need a oversight committee on TIF financing, to see what is deserved to go swing it back from the north and swing it back to the south and west side. That's a fight we can get in, and they ain't got to debate it. It ain't black and white. It's just what it is. They taking our money.
Now, question. Now that's fine for businesses. But what we gonna do about residents?
Okay.
You got people that are showing up in this fight complaining. Like, we got schools in our communities been shut down, and they could have been turned into something for our residents, for our homeless people. And they ain't thought about doing nothing for them. But as soon as these folks show up, not thinking in advance that the government is giving them some of this money in order to help. That's money coming from D.C. and it's allocated for earmarked for a certain thing. That's helped these immigrants because they ain't got zero. Now, some of us ain't got zero. If you think I'm lying, just ride down, under some of these viaducts, man. And thank God for some of these people that are showing up every day to offer them food and tents and all of this stuff. They got tent cities under a great many of our viaducts in the city of Chicago, especially this time of year, with families. I ain't talking about just people who, that just got messed up financially. They got families living in these places all year round, wintertime. I know a backstory on a couple of tent cities that got burnt out because the kerosene lanterns fell over, and then once one tent go up, all of them go up. So what about residents? Okay, some of these people that are, been crying for a long time, but they don't have nobody to speak for them.
Let me get to that. There's a couple of fronts that I can say to that. So they went from the homeless So State Rep Ford has a bill that says DU is dwelling units. So they don't want to use tiny, I said tiny houses. That was one of the things that was is in. So you're going to move a homeless person into a tiny house. Where you live? I'm in a tiny house. That's an insult from this. So they're called something dwelling homes that we should be pushing for the homeless people to have those dwelling units in the community, affordable in the communities built like they do in other places. That's one, you can Google that. It's a legislation around dwelling to replace housing people. And then there's a lot of homeless money just came down the pipe from D.C. And as you say, it comes from D.C. to the state to the city. Well, that money get intercepted before we get it on our block and being used for other people. So as brother, O.B. Woodlaw always said, we do a bad job of not following the money. What you do is from A to Z. What is allocated? What's that percentage for black people? And all we want to ask is based on our census, our numbers, we want that for our people. We don't need no more. We just want to give us what we've been rightful to do, and then we're going to hit them with the next level. But we got to ask for what we rightful to do based on the census count, what our taxes is. And they said the Metropolitan Planning Service said the racism and segregation in Chicago has cost $4.4 billion of neglect in terms of taxes. So if they just let us get our education, get our share, we would have the crime going down, housing going down, everything would be dealt with. $4.4 billion because of systemic racism. The other piece is we need to be able to talk about the automatic menu. People don't know about it. So each alderman get an allowance to be able to do street sidewalks and gutters. So we've been pressing for Black Wall Street for parity in terms of why not allocate that money to the alderman's office, and that automatic menu is to young men to be trained on gutter, surfacing, and landscaping, so that money can be used, because it don't take much for a young man to learn how to do surfacing. It don't take much for a young black man to learn how to do landscaping. So if we bring that money, that's $1 million some plus to help them brothers. And then I'm over here with the tax doctor, who I was on the task force for the governor for years. We have to really look at how we get the schools off the property tax. It's actually kind of illegal, we found out. You should not be funding schools off the backs of taxpayers. So y'all should look into that legislation. And if we get the people saying we want to get the taxes off the schools, off the tax bracket, and we look at the not the tiny homes, but the dwelling homes, and look at the automatic menu. So there are some of the things I want to give as solutions. So when we get off the show, y'all can't talk about we just talked about nothing. If that makes sense.
They know better. When they come over here, they're gonna get some knowledge. And this is really a key question. With those solutions you just offered, can we trust aldermen with our money?
Well, no, they're getting that money anyway. But
can we trust them with the money to help people?
Let me ask you. It's not a matter of trusting with my money. So I'm gonna take a notebook from you when I seen a brother had some of your stuff that belonged to you, and you had to pay him a visit.
Oh Lord, you remember that?
Money work for us, and we need to pay him a visit. When I was with you, you didn't get loud, you didn't get nothing. You just came and stood and made a couple of words, and people started moving. So I want to take a preach from the back, doctor. We need to show up, see if they don't do right. We do it, and we might need to do what we did. Ramen Manuel and Lori Lightfoot. We went outside playing hopscotch and double dutch and started barbecuing. We got to have something around here. We need to eat. The streets got to eat.
Yeah.
Streets got to eat.
Yeah. There is a way. There's a method, and it's peaceful.
Yes, sir.
And I ain't talking about boycotting and all of that stuff. You just got to let people know.
It's not our money. It's our money. So if somebody come in your house and rob your refrigerator, you're going to go get that thumper. If somebody come and invade your home, you're going to get that. So I'm not saying hurt nobody, but we the only people that let people steal from us, and there's no consequences or repercussions. So if I take your money in kindergarten, I'm going to take your money in 8th grade, you don't do nothing. By the time you get to be a grown man, I'm going to still take your money, brother doctor. Still take your money.
That's true.
Call bullying.
Yep, that's true.
Police
And look,
bullying.
and that was the reason why I was there, because he didn't pay what was owed. And I told him, I say, look, if you don't pay, you will see me again. I wasn't scared, and I didn't have no problem.
It's
You
accountability.
know, look, and he was looking at me trying to figure out who I was.
I seen you in action, bro. Remember three words said, and we got to the end results. So I think
That's
it's a
true.
conflict resolution class you should teach.
I should, and it was crazy because I showed up every day at the time he told me to show up. And I waited till he put some money in my hand, and then I left, and then his business prospered because everybody was scared while I was standing there because I wouldn't sit down. I didn't want no drink of water. I don't want nothing. I just want what's owed to the people who
That
sent me.
man, that's so powerful. We just want from elected officials, politicians, teachers, educators, and pastors what's rightfully ours that God gives us from being the original people. That's all we
That's
ask. We
true.
don't want nothing extra. We just want, as they say, druggers, they say, just leave. I don't need nobody to give me none. We'll kick in the door and get it ourselves.
So, what's the likelihood of things being approached differently? Now, you laid out a solution. You said, look, there's money that every alderman in every troubled area in the city of Chicago
Mm-hmm.
has allocated to those areas that come down from the federal government to our communities, and yet our people are still crying for help. They're hollering loud. We need help. And these things are not reaching the people on the street in the districts on where these problems exist at. So, what's the likelihood of being able to get these folks some help? Because my heart goes out to them.
Hmm.
When I see people that's hungry, and I feel like, look, they need some love, and we got to do what we can to try and help them, get what they need to be able to get. So what is the likelihood? Because we don't have a real spokesman for them. The aldermen, I mean, let's face it, they ain't the spokesman for the people.
Mm-mm.
They not. They
They
not.
suppose they
And
get paid to, but
yeah, that's what they get elected to do, but they not doing their job.
mm-hmm.
And then some people faking and jaking so good, they might pass out T-shirts and a cap,
Mm-hmm.
and throw a picnic, throw a party, and I don't know what they think throwing a party supposed to do for people that's hungry the next day and the next day and the next day. You can feed them for one day, but what about them days in the rest of the week after the party?
Yeah. Well, I think to answer that is there's on 67th and Green, there's a school there, and they feed thousand people every day. Good fresh produce there, and so there's some places I see long line. Our problem is we don't have the directory and go get it to the people you're talking about where they know where their food. The government, the depository is giving out a lot of food. Those lines are long, but I think there's some people that's not getting connected, brother Doc, that they could probably get a couple of meals since they wasn't getting any. We got to find those people, hit the streets, and put some flyers and where you can go eat. Because, remember, some people just not in mainstream and they not coming to meetings. So we need a group of ambassadors in the street saying, here's where the food pantries are. Here's where the utility to get your light bill down. We need to have a direct contact on the streets with the block club, which is Western National Block Club University, block by block, so that we can do. So we're talking some more solutions. National Block Club University, working with them to get the
Cyron
flyers to the
Smith,
doors
yep.
of the people that's indigenous to
Yeah, Cyron
resources.
Smith, he's got an organization, been around for 20, 30 years, man, been trying to get that plan executed and instituted where you get a governor, you get a spokesperson on every block, and, people fighting over that. Like, who made you the spokesperson for us? It's just crazy, man. Um, Go ahead. I know you finna
No,
say
no, no,
something
no,
about
no, no. I'm
that.
just saying that it's about we've changed our southern hospitality. We walk down the street, we don't speak. We sit on the train, we keep looking forward, and we got us fearful of our own people. because I make conversation, but the average person usually get a job because, hey man, how you doing? All right, I'm looking for work. People don't say that no more. It be somebody sitting next to you that got a job, or somebody lost their job, or they know a resource. So we on the train, we on the bus. Man, I ain't talking to them people. I ain't talking. When all you have to do is say, "Oh, my name is so and so." Man, you know any work? Oh yeah, man, my brother's a contractor. We are not talking to each other. That is cutting us off of resources. And I say that
Yeah,
because I'm a resource man. If you close mouths, don't get fed.
that's true. That's true. And I remember when I first met Revin, almost 20 years ago. It seemed like forever. But he was the only person, which is what really made me love him so much, was the only person showing up at those meetings downtown when they were talking about some of the plans and some of the resources that can be made available. He would be in those meetings. He'd come out of there with a suitcase full of, day material, that they paid for. They paid for, $500 to be in that convention, and Revin went around to every room and picked up every booklet that they left sitting on the table in a chair, and he come back to us. I mean, he was truly, now some of y'all young folks ain't gonna remember that, he was truly operating out of the spirit of the spook who sat by the door. Yeah.
Hey, hey, you know my man,
you
Sam
know,
Greenlee, baby, my man. What's up?
look, Look, he was getting all that knowledge and was bringing it back, and people didn't. It was so much knowledge they didn't even know what to do with it.
Yeah.
Like what we supposed to do with this, Revin? It was like you're supposed to study it, understand it, so you know when they ask the question, what the answer to the question is.
Mm-hmm.
And even now, I'm gonna throw this in there, Revin. When he came to my house, last week, a week before last, I can't even tell you when it was. The first thing he did when he walked in the door, out the corner of his eye, he saw a stack of newspapers that was sitting in my chair that I had been thumbing through and looking at on and off from time to time. And he said, "Doctor, can I look at these here?" And he went through and dissected, chopped up, pulled out, and kept every one of them pieces of paper. When he left out of here, you'd have thought I'd have gave him a $5 million, birthday present. And it was so funny. I called him up. I said, "Hey man, you didn't get them all. I see some more underneath the stack over here." He said, "I get them next time I come." But that's what a person who's looking for knowledge about. He's about knowledge, and he takes that knowledge and he feeds it into people that really don't know how to deal with it, don't know what to do with it. And instead of sounding the alarm, he's telling them directly where to go. You go here on this day and that time, and this will happen. And people don't understand. So I really feel like, just to quote a spiritual scripture, my people
Mm-mm.
perish for lack of knowledge.
Mm. Can I add something to it?
Go ahead, brother.
And y'all can Google and check it. But sometimes one word have a bunch of meanings. But I think we pass our people perish because lack of knowledge. My 40, 50 years been out here, as you say, giving information. They rejecting knowledge at this point.
Yeah.
Rejecting knowledge. You can, but that's when you get into a hopeless stage and you hearing and then you don't know what to do. But that's when you seek God to when you get information to let him tell you what to look for in it. I'll give you the direction, but you got to dig in and God will tell you what you need to ask from your elected official, from your pastor, and from the community, and even the brothers in the community. But if you reject knowledge because you don't want responsibility, then you are going to be deaf, dumb, and blind.
Yeah, absolutely. So now, since you mentioned preachers, let's talk about community leaders that we're supposed to have in our community. You notice I use the word "supposed to." So I know Reverend Jesse Jackson just retired and passed the baton, but I don't think he was benefiting our community as much as he could have, should have. His headquarters here in Chicago. So who else is not benefiting us that you want to put on blast right now? Because I know some of these folks out here, they got the people pumped up. I look at every time I see a a press conference, they got a whole slew of preachers standing out there with them on the west side, south side, talking about, yeah, they did this wrong. But what are they doing to help, and what are they doing different to keep us from winding up in those situations?
Well, the key is they're not doing anything different. And going back to because they reject knowledge, wisdom, and understanding from the basic, simple people, the laymen in the church and the people in the streets. So when you think you know it all, can't nobody tell you nothing. And you have these boards at the churches that are elders that are caught in a historical situation. They are not taking advice and new ideas from God because in the scripture he said, "Behold, I do a new thing." And he said, "Well, ain't nothing new under the sun." But he said, "Behold, I'm doing something new." So if you still stand on the old and God say I'm doing something new, then you reject the knowledge that he's transformed to that and doing a whole new thing. So the pastors here in Chicago, a lot of them doing good work. But even if you're doing good work as one pastor, you should join with another church because the problem is too big for your church.
Absolutely.
And then if you are a man of God, then you can't be presenting the same thing that's been days of old that have gotten us TIF money gone, 150 schools closed. The Latinos got $98 million out there, asked for 100 million, built 13 new charter schools from the ground up, and black people asking for a school with asbestos, rats and roaches, and lead that looks like a prison in most cases. So why would we ask for less than 100 million and they got 98 when we shouldn't be asking for no dollar? Tear the school down and rebuild it like God's children deserve. But the man of God, instead of building a new church, it should be talking about building a new school so our children can make their way. So the pastors got to really say, warn my sheep. God say, warn my sheep. And they're not warning sheep because they're not seeking knowledge to be able to do that. And consequently, they doing the children of Israel. So the church needs to get saved and need to be taught a new urban ministry of how to engage the indigenous people. Pastors are doing, but we need a training on how to get a brother like myself that gives the pastors information that he can use to save the congregation. And look within that church. We got doctors, lawyers, we got teachers, we got educators, finance, and banking. That church is supposed to be a warehouse for God's people, and the pastors somehow have a vision to use that to save the community which it serves. So I think that would be a good start, just to start listening and quit running around like the children of Israel.
Yeah, I got to reference Cyron and his organization again. I know when there are community stores and gas stations in the community, Cyron and his organization, National Black Club University, used to do report cards on the store. So if you go in the store and you got old food expiration dates and folks in the community coming in there for a dozen of eggs that ain't no good, or a pound of meat that ain't no good, because
Outdated.
that's all right. That's all that's in their community. So they would go in there and do an inspection and then send the owner. If you want to continue doing business and making money in our community, you need to serve us quality meat, quality eggs, food that's not outdated. So what I'm hearing you say about the preachers is that we need to do a report card on them.
Well, Cyron has the report card on gas stations, non-for-profit, churches, and financial institutions. So it's a full apparatus. And what we do is, it's not what he says. We survey the community on what they think the church is doing, the community on what the Arab store is doing. And that's the other report card from the men that we organize. We go in after them and ask them why they're trying to have sex and lure our young girls into certain acts because you have money and things to offer them when they come shopping. So we have to, men check them when they try and talk to our daughters and mistreating our women, throwing money on the counter. And Ron do the report card. So it's a whole comprehensive accountability. But the pastor and them, Ron over the years have did a report card on the church, and they got mad. But this is what the people said. So what we do is say, well, we got a couple of bad grades. Can we help the church, help the people? And a lot of pastors got mad, talking about, you don't tell me what to do with my church. No, we just letting you know that the people are saying that some of your service is not getting out there. So if you take the position as your church and you can't have no correction, that's why God ain't letting you have the leadership over the people.
Absolutely.
And those you have in the church now, we have a problem is, and again, this is not against the church because the church is the answer. It just hasn't stepped up to what God needs. So most of the people in the church don't live in the community. That's a serious problem. Not that they shouldn't go, but most of them live in the suburbs, come in. So then all the intellectual capital and wisdom has moved away from the community that could be raising little Ray, Junebug, Shalitha, and be the model for what a student and what God should be righteousness. It has moved away, and we have a drain, what they call a mental drain of resources and information that can be used. Because you got no role models. You can't be what you can't see.
That's true.
Amen.
Yeah. I got one more issue in the community that I want to talk about, and then we're going to change the subject a little bit. You know, I always talk about these things because I know you got something to say about them.
Oh, you know I got something on my chest.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, what's going on with all of these young people, you know, going downtown, scaring the hell out of all the Europeans, you know, and, I mean, got them scared to death. You know, just because it's a crowd. Now, they might not have done nothing that day, but they just scared because it's more than 10. You know, I mean, they going down there hundreds and thousands at a time, showing up downtown, scaring the heck out of these Europeans. Now, black folks ain't scared because, you know, black folks will check them. Like, boy, get your ass away from my car. Who your mama?
You know? Wow. That's a hot one that's on my chest. Keep going. That's the hot one on my chest.
Yeah.
With that one.
Yeah. So what you think, man? What do they want? What are they after? What are they trying to prove? What are they, you know, what's the issue? What do you think? Because I know you hear things. So what do you think is an issue or a solution?
Well, the sentiment of what I'm hearing from the young people in the street and biblically and the historical content, every ethnic group, the Indian, the Jews, and others, and Polish, everybody is getting reparations for the damage that was done to them mentally, physically, and spiritually, and they're giving them reparations. We built this country, 400 years of free labor. Our ancestors fought and died. Black military men have fought in every war, and that blood runs universal. We the best fighters in the world, and we built this country. John Baptiste DuSable founded Chicago, the first trade center, the first business, and then you have us go years and years of at the table asking for reparations, and people move. So what I would say to that is, it's called, Lord, how long? If you close 150 schools, if you take all the TIF money, if you take all our tax dollars and give people tax credits to move business in there, what you do is the hate created. You got a group of children that's fighting for something that they deserve for their ancestors in the wrong way that we think. Because we're not protesting for TIF money. We're not protesting for them to get schools. So the children used to loot and rob us. We used to dare them to go down there and mess with white people. You better not go cross Market Park. You better not go downtown. Y'all scared. Now this generation God has raised up to be non-fearful of the police, non-fearful of any authority, is going downtown where the real Gucci bag is. Because them around the house, them ain't the real bags. So now they go down there, and I'm not advocating them going down, but you can't keep depriving us from the community and thinking they ain't going to spill over to downtown. So what they did was went down there to tell them, we're uncomfortable in our community, you going to be uncomfortable in your community. But what happens is, why would we be mad because they down there scared white people? When we start doing that? Man, don't mess with them white people. Go mess with the white people. They got the children. I'm about to get some loud in a minute. They confusing these people. They say, we dare you to go downtown. They go down there, what you mess with white folks stuff. Them, they rob us. Y'all won't rob the white people. They making the children be on drugs. Something ain't right. And then if you don't own nothing, Seaway Bank gone, Independence Bank gone, Illinois Federal gone, Highland Bank gone. We don't have no black grocery store, 3 new ones in the last 20 years, 1 black gas station, all the schools closing. What do you think the children supposed to be doing? The streets got to eat. I ain't pushing that they should be doing nothing. But you don't have nothing to point to that we own control that you can send a child to get a job right now. So it's the hate created, and we need to be down there fighting for them instead of them protesting. We should have been down there saying, you ain't coming here with a political convention and we ain't finna eat. So why y'all mad at the children? They had sent a message about if you coming to Chicago with a Democratic convention, everybody else want to have a share of it. That's just how I see it. And again, no way am I advocating for people to go down there looting, but I tell you, a hungry man would probably do anything to eat.
That's true.
It don't
That's
make
true.
it right, but sometimes it make it even.
Yeah, that's true. That's absolutely correct.
I hope I didn't
You
take
know,
it too far, but
no, no, no,
these
no, no,
children,
no,
for
no.
something that they have not. If I call a young man now, and I know a few black business, you most of the time, you tell a guy to put down a gun, you got to send him to somebody else that don't look like him for a job. You been on
Right.
95th in the Home Depot, and I'm not anti-immigrants. I'm anti people getting in front of us. But if you go up there, there's nothing but Latino contractors everywhere on 87th Street, passing out cars. Black contractors ain't nowhere to be found but buying lumber. And black women, we
Mm-hmm.
need your help. And there's some black good contractors out there. Call me if you're looking for one. But at the end of the day, the black women so tired of brothers not keeping their word in construction and doing their place, then try to talk to them, that they come outside and give their money to the Latino because they don't trust black contractors to do what they do. And then black
Mm-hmm.
contractors walk by little Ray Ray with his pants pulled down and then say he don't want to work, but don't ask him. But they Latinos get all their children to walk to work because they ask. So,
Mm-hmm.
man, I went there, but I'm just telling you, we're blaming children, and God is suffering us unto the children to get our attention.
That's true.
And it seems like
That's
it's
true.
bad. He'd rather see them dead than to grow up and don't own nothing, don't control nothing, because Marvin Gaye said this ain't living.
That's true.
I'm
That's
sorry,
true.
bro. I get a little passionate or
No, 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 man. Speak your piece, man. This about,
something.
you have the freedom to speak what's on your heart and what's on, what's going on, what you seeing. You on the street. I live in the suburb. I never will forget what you told me one day. I was talking to you on the phone, and you start saying, "Man, look, you live in the suburbs. I'm down here ducking bullets every night
You
when I
shooting
go
on
to
my
bed."
block. They,
And I had to back up off that. I was like, yeah, you're right. Because, look, we got rabbits and deers out here, and they get along real good,
and nobody
They ain't had,
try to shoot one as they're going to jail.
yeah, and look, we all cool out here. Well, look, man, we got about 10 minutes left in the show.
Can I say
So I
something
know we
real
talk.
quick?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hold on, man. I'm finna
This is
open up the
crucial. This
door
is
for you.
crucial because a lot of our brothers and sisters have moved like you are, some for good reasons, some for just moving up. But we're asking if you move like you do, you're not here, but you're infecting here with what you have working in communities from that place. We need the blacks that have moved. A whole lot of people from CHA housing is from Calumet City to Richmond Park. Got nice
Mm-hmm.
houses and doing things. We ain't saying you can't move up, but send something back to the non-for-profit that's doing good work. Send something back or come mentor one day for a young man or woman. You just can't leave us here because we don't have no more role models. If y'all all gone and leaving us with few people to be men in front of men and women in front of women and brothers and sisters, then how do somebody be what they can't see? I had men in front of me that allowed me to be a man. Now they removed all the brothers from the system, and now a young boy don't see another man, and a man don't mean a pair of pants.
That's true. So what I was going to say was that we got a few minutes left in the show. Was there anything else that you want to touch on, what you got coming up, what's going on, what you feel that's most important to try and that little earmark right there is absolutely, and I try to help people all the time. So, for those that have something on their heart, they can step up and also reach out to Revin and say, hey man, I got this, and this, where you need me at. And that's what we need to do. We need to be available. I tell people all the time, like even 30 minutes before the show, Revin's still out there hustling. He put me on to somebody else. Hey, man, he got a book. He this, he that. You need to talk to him, you know. And I'm like, put him on the phone. I ain't scared to talk to nobody, and I know he know that. So, if they come correct, I'm going to do what I can to help them. If they don't come correct, I'm still going to do the best I can to help them. I'm going to tell them, how to come correct if you want help. You just can't be doing something because no man is an island. No matter how hard you try, you still need to be connected. We got to be connected. We all got to be connected one to another. So what you got going on, what you got coming up?
Well, you're going to be part of it. We got one thing coming in the South Suburbs, August 26th. We're going to be doing a black business, want to call it like an expo in Calumet City. Brother D and J, I don't have the information, but on the 26th, we're going to have vendors there. We're going to be talking about violence, how violence and business and jobs and entrepreneur work together for the first time, because everybody's going to jail trying to find solve an economic problem. Brother Mark Allen. So we want to connect the jobs, contracts, and opportunities to prevent violence by hiring young people, if that makes sense. Create 100 jobs and hire some young people. The other piece, August 1st, is National Black Business Month. It's been going on since 2004, National Black Business Month. And in Chicago, we're going to launch 31-day Buy Black, Love Black, Give Black in honor of Dr. Webb Evans. We're going to be at the new Privilege Lounge, God willing. It's on 69th in South Chicago, right there by the police station. Brother Maurice has a beautiful facility. It's going to be a Tuesday, and we're bringing all the business chambers to talk about where do you buy. People say, I don't know where to go. Well, we're going to talk about 31 days, Buy Black, Love Black, and Give Black, and we're going to be telling you where to go to spend that money so that we can redirect this money, because while all this politics and politics is going on, you need to buy black. And not just because you're black, but because you do good business, like Dr. Ron says. So stay tuned for that. We'll be back. And then I want to give something to let people know, because we've been talking about a lot of doom and this, but I want to say I'm with Books Over Bars, an organization, violence prevention program that I help young men get to college. But we work with Champs and some other black men groups. And back early, about a month ago, we had 1,000-boy march on 39th Street to 47th Street and King Drive over to Cottage Grove and back down to Mandrake Park. Over 800 black boys in the park, basketball, resources, jobs, 3-on-3 tournament. Nobody shot, nobody killed. The following week, we had Father's Day. Over 100 brothers with getting haircuts with their son over at Gary Coleman School. Champs, Books Over Balls, black men, African men. 5 or 6 black men organization worked together. Nobody shot, nobody killed. Then the following week, we had a conference at Gary Coleman, the same collaboration of brothers, Chicago street legends, playground legends, and Champs, and all of us. We had over 800 boys and girls workshops from 9 to 4. We gave out over 200, 300 pairs of Michael Jordan $300 shoes with a raffle. We had entertainment. Nobody shot, nobody killed. And then Ice Cube, the big three that I work with every year, they have a tournament that comes to the community where we do a basketball camp for about 80 young youth, and then they play 3-on-3, and they get a ring and they get a trophy, and then they go to the game the next day. And so we had over 100 young boys in the tournament. I think it was about 100 or 80, and we had 3-on-3. The next day, we gave out over 1,500 tickets for families, youth in Chicago to go to the Big Three at the United Center for free. And I'm saying that's about 2,000 black boys served. Nobody shot, nobody killed. So we need to have that good news. We care about those who get shot, but you can't let us know that we had 14 shot and over 2,000, nobody shot, nobody killed. Ain't God good?
Absolutely. Without a doubt, man. And I want to applaud you, man, for all the good work that you're doing and all the networking that you're doing and helping our young people, find some alternatives to some of the things that have been presented in front of them, and now they got some alternatives to do different and do otherwise. So man, I applaud you, man. I know I talk about you, so I got to show you some love too. So you're doing a great job out there. You know, um, we're getting close to getting out of here, so I got to ask two questions.
Uh-oh.
You know, first question is, will you come back and see me again?
Yeah, you got food.
We're gonna get you a ring light too, cause you too dark.
I'm
We're
still
gonna find.
man. I've been out.
Yeah.
I was with KR, so I stay in the sun, baby. And we, hey, 1, 2, 3. It's called, yeah, it's the message in hip hop. Hi ho. So I got perks and stuff.
And I talked about him so bad, y'all, off air. He was telling me early in the day yesterday that he was going over there, and I say, man, you mean to tell me you went over to that concert and the boombox dude in the back was walking around with a cane
No,
and a microphone
no.
doing the boombox, and I was like, they put clips of it on social media, and I said that's where Revin was at, over there with these old decrepit people, and I ain't hating on him,
It was
but he was
just
talking about, man, he still get down. Uh,
they had at least 15 performers of young girls from like 10 on up that did Alvin Ailey stuff. They didn't show that part. They let the see that's the problem. We keep showing the elders and not the young people that's getting down. We got to pass the torch. We got to pass the torch. They were doing
yeah,
great work. Those girls were dancing. And I just got to give a shout out to KRS-One. He came. He said he's coming back. He ain't doing a drive-by. He going to be back. He putting some people on his video. He finna take some people in the studio. But he said he's finna come to Inglewood and highlight the gardens so people know that there's something good coming out of Inglewood.
absolutely. Now, my second question is, what would you like to leave with the people today before you leave us?
That let's get out of God's way. God is doing exactly. The devil don't have this much power. God has to take his hand off of children for them to get slaughtered. So we have to say our prayers the right prayer. Or are we praying our children to hell? Or do we need to readjust and reset and ask God to forgive us and help us because what we're doing is not working? So I would say get out of God's way, and trust me, the rain serves its purpose. Now you may be flooding from the 5 or 6 times the dailies and each mayor didn't fix the lead and the pipes under it. That's a whole nother story. But God has to send water for fresh produce, for farmers. So while you mad about rain, you ain't getting no fruits and vegetables unless the farmer get his rain. And then this city is
Absolutely.
real dirty. It needs to be washed. And then the other
Absolutely.
part, with us having climate change and the environment, they say that the rain brings down some of the climate and this pollution. So God is doing his thing. So don't get mad when God doing his thing. Just get out the way and let a gentleman do his thing.
All right now. Well, once again, my brother, I thank you. I appreciate you. Man, it's an honor and a privilege to have you on my show each and every time. You have been doing what you've been doing for such a long time without recognition, without the applause. You just a guy in the dark and the shadows that's getting it done.
Today for real,
Yeah, yep, today for real.
huh?
Yeah. But thank you, man, and I appreciate you, once again for taking time out of your busy schedule to come hang out with us on today and give us an update. We need an update every
I'm
now
gonna
and then.
stop being, man, and I want to thank you for being the voice of the people. No matter where you are, you taking this technology and you keeping your ears to the ground. And like I'm saying, people can take a model from you. Even though you're not in the city, you in the city. Even though you're not there, you giving platforms. So I can call you and give a young man a platform. And as I say, you always pick up the phone, stop what you're doing. So there's other people in the south suburbs that you guys, you got to give something back and drop it off with us because we need all the resources we can and we need all hands on deck. Thank you.
With that being said, you stay right there. You don't go nowhere. We're going to end the show for today. I want to invite you guys out to come join me on tomorrow at 12 noon, Street News Now. We got the noon report. right on the Street News Now Network. That's where we're talking about news, commentaries, and all of the stuff that's going on crazy in this political world. I want to invite you guys to come join me each and every Saturday at 12 noon from the desk of Dr. Ron, where I give you what's on my heart and letting folks know what's going on. And I want to thank all of those that have made donations and contributions. Thank you so very much. Keep up the good work. This is where you can make contributions. Continue to do so. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Please send this out. Let folks know where I'm at, and let them know how much you appreciate and enjoy what's going on. So look forward to seeing you guys on tomorrow. You stay blessed, stay safe. See you guys tomorrow.